Hello and welcome to Analyst Hangout. I am Perpetual Fason Peter. Well, joining me on the show today are Ambrose Omodion, CRO Investigator Consulting. Thanks for joining us on the show
Thanks
today.
for having me again.
I also have right here with us Charles Fakroha, a stockbroker and business analyst. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure being here.
Always, always. Well, we'll be joined by Steve Ngozi Okafor. He's a CEO, Co-Finance Securities. But of course, just as we always do it every Friday, we'll begin with the stock market report. And now the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed positive amidst buy interest and sell-offs. The all-share index appreciated by 0.12% to close at 49,024.16 points. On the gainers chart, while RT, Briscoe and May and Baker gained 3 kobo and 36 kobo each to close at 34 kobo and 4 naira 10 kobo respectively. Guinness gained 7 naira 5 kobo to close at 82 naira 90 kobo. Meanwhile, Jay's Bank and UPDC added 7 kobo and 8 kobo in value to close at 88 kobo and 1 naira 3 kobo respectively. And on the flip side, shares of Ikeja Hotel and Sovereign Insurance lost 12 kobo and 2 kobo each to close at 1 naira 12 kobo and 27 kobo respectively. NACO lost 20 kobo, while UPDC Real Estate Investment Trust and Nimeth lost 10 kobo and 3 kobo each to close the day in the red. But that's the update for today, and Charles and Omodion are here to help us. So let's start with you. Talk to us about the market. It's been one day red, the other day green, one day red, the other day green. That's quite interesting, I would say.
No, I would say that I'm also glad that the market closed back above 49,000 mark, which is good. But we know the circumstance behind the market or surrounding the market. One, anywhere in the world, when there's hike in interest rate, there's about to be kind of reaction we're seeing in our market. It's not only in Nigeria, even advanced environment or economy. That means investors now are looking at that NPR that was moved from 14% to 15.5%. This is going to change the asset class, revaluation of everything in the market that is investable. That people are wondering, where will I be now? Inflation already hit about 17 years high, about 20.52%. And then if also we are seeing an interest rate moving around there to 15.1, it tells you that gradually we are moving towards recession. You don't need to say that again, because there are 3 factors that really control economic cycle. One, your interest rate, your inflation, and your industrial output. If interest rate is high, inflation is high, your industrial output starts contracting, and that tells you that things are not going well. And if you want to really also copy other climate policy to adopt your policy, it's also at your own risk. Why I say so? What happened in England recently should open an eye for every central bank in the world. They were all busy hiking rates aggressively. Overnight, the currency dropped almost 72 years low. Then they have to do another intervention. That means from hiking of rate now, we are now doing the work called quantitative easing. That should also send the signal that, the way we are going with interest rate hike, she wants to think wise, because if not taking, it might take us back to recession. Don't forget that in this administration, we have experienced recession 3 times. That will not be a good news for this government till May 29. They should rethink this policy and do something like one. As we speak now, we know that it's not in Nigeria. It's a global thing.
Yes.
But you should know how to manage your domain. That is why you are the economic manager or policy maker. Don't say because Mr. A have done that, you must follow suit. Because let me tell you, what happened in this last MPC meeting was a surprise that it beat all economists' forecast, analysts' forecast, market expectation. For you to hike rates at this point with 150 basic points, it's a slap on the economy, because if care is not taken, we are going back from where we are coming. Don't forget that this is the highest interest rate since Nigeria world democracy started. After almost 25 years, the started democracy, 15.5 is the highest for over like 2 decades. We didn't see change, and this for me is a slap. That means we need to also go back and see, yes, inflation is in, and also don't forget that Nigeria was an import-dependent economy. If you are importing and your cost of production even inside is high, then you are nowhere, because already you are bringing inflation to the economy, and with the economy, the environment is not friendly. That is not, for me, I think that what we are seeing good numbers in companies now, fine, it's a good thing, but I'll tell you, if this is sustained, and from 2023, these numbers we are seeing that are looking attractive might not be there, apart from few sectors. That means the policy makers and the government should reclaim the direction, because we have one MPC meeting to close the year 2022. If they're going to leave it unchanged, or again they're going to hike it to 20%, we don't know. But Nigeria should be aware, because this is the time for serious investors to know that not the time to look for either fixed income or look for what? Equity?
I think we're going to come to that conversation later on the show. Absolutely. Okay, he has said a lot of things, and I know that some Nigerians are also, they're really not happy about this rate hike. But of course, the CBN or the MPC will tell you that they're trying to mop up liquidity.
Where's the liquidity?
Okay.
Well, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, so it's for the first time I think I would disagree with CBN government.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
he has shown to me now that he's really an inflation hawk.
Yes.
That
You
is,
remember, you keep saying he's not an inflation hawk. You said it last week.
But he has convinced me that he's an inflation hawk. That is, you just keep increasing your NPRO because inflation is increasing. Note here that we've also established that the type of inflation we're having is not demand push. It's cost push.
No liquidity push.
It's not liquidity. What liquidity? Do we even have liquidity in the system? Is it that we have excess
Anticipated liquidity.
excess funds chasing fewer goods? No, there's no money. Production is even low. Productivity is low. So the only way now, I've always said that it is not only monetary policy we use to manage your economy. You need to also use the fiscal policy part of it. So
Well, I think I'd like to come in here. What's happening? Why does it seem like the fiscal authority is nowhere to be found in this situation? What exactly is the issue?
I'm not surprised. Let me start there, because in Nigeria history, whenever we are in election year, the government always sit at the back seat because they are just waiting to be ushered in another government. That is why even before now, the MPC or the CBN have been one managing the economy, trying to put it in the direction. But that at recent now, I think that they are goofing or they are making mistakes. I don't know what the language to use. But for the fiscal authority, they have not been serious, especially pre-election. You can't take Nigeria history. I'm not surprised that we are not hearing from them.
Yeah, but when we look at
that one, they will make sure that there will be what successful and peaceful election. That's it. You see, let me tell you.
which is also key for economic development.
Let me tell you.
But that's not enough.
Let me tell you. No, you know why they are focusing on security is that it is what every other for economy will stand on. Agree, but there are some policies that you are not putting in place. If for me, you want to fight insecurity, the first thing that you must settle ASU and let the university go back to what? To class.
Keep students busy.
Let them go back to class. Let me tell you, they say an idle hand is what is a devil workshop. If in the morning I woke up as a student, nothing doing, and I see where I can get just 500,000 naira for another month, I don't mind going there, whether it is good or bad. Let's have conscience, because I'm at home. But if I'm in class reading, I won't be thinking of that.
All right. I think at this point, I'll just take your thoughts and then we move on.
Yes. Well, the economy has to be looked from an holistic point of view. Like I said, it's not because every other client is doing it, you have to now do it yourself. For me, I would advise investors now that the issue is like this. They should still not panic. They should still look at stocks that are defensive. This is the time, because you can't run away from the market no matter how things are. You can't say you want to sell off and keep your money where? It's under your pillow? No.
That would be the worst.
Yeah,
Exactly, because the money will lose
they
value.
should begin to, that policy I've always advocated, Naira cost averaging.
All right. Well, moving on, the Central Bank of Nigeria raised the benchmark interest rate, that's the MPR, to a two-decade high of 15.5% in its just concluded monetary policy meeting. This is the highest rate in the last 20 years, indicating a 150 basis points hike from 14%. The central bank, in a bid to mop up liquidity and rein in inflation, adopted a twin approach of raising the MPR and the CRR to 15.5% and a minimum of 32.5% respectively. While the CBN opines this hike will help bring down the inflation rate and slow down forex speculations, there are attendant consequences for the economy that could arise. Well, we'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll kick off this conversation. Stay with us.